People say a moment can change your whole life, but what if that moment happens 30,000 feet in the air? Before we begin, take a second to like this video and subscribe to Goodness Hub Stories, because what you're about to hear will keep you hooked until the very last second. The day began like any other at Westline Regional Airport, the kind of place where pilots walked with confident strides and the smell of jet fuel mixed with early morning coffee. Captain Alan Reeves, a man known for his strict discipline and even stricter opinions, marched toward Gate 14 with his uniform crisp and his chin high. He'd been flying for nearly 25 years and believed he could read people the same way he read the sky, quickly, accurately, and with absolutely no patience for mistakes. And today, he believed, would be just another routine charter flight with a wealthy client heading across the country. That illusion shattered the moment he saw who the company had assigned as his co-pilot. Standing beside the sleek white jet was a younger man in a slightly worn uniform, the kind that had clearly seen long nights and hurried mornings. His name tag read, Evan Cole. He looked calm, alert, and ready, yet there was something soft behind his eyes, something almost too gentle for a cockpit. Beside his neatly packed flight bag sat a tiny pink backpack decorated with little clouds. Captain Reeves narrowed his eyes. "You're the co-pilot?" he asked sharply. Evan smiled, adjusting his sleeves. "Yes, sir. Evan Cole. Good to meet you. What's that?" The captain pointed at the colorful backpack like it was a bomb. "Just my daughter's bag. I'll drop it off after the flight." Evan said it quietly, respectfully, but the captain's expression hardened. "You're a single dad?" "Yes, sir. My daughter's 5, she's with her babysitter for the day." Captain Reeves let out a long breath of disapproval. He'd always believed that pilots with complicated personal lives were distractions waiting to happen. Single parents were, in his mind, the worst, too emotional, too preoccupied, too unpredictable. "I don't fly with liabilities," he muttered. "Sir?" Evan asked, staying polite despite the sting. "Go back to headquarters," Captain Reeves snapped. "Tell them to assign me someone else. I'm not trusting $100 million aircraft to someone who needs to check on a kindergarten schedule." The words hit Evan like a slap. He swallowed, trying to maintain professionalism, though his voice trembled. "With respect, Captain, my record is clean. 3,000 flight hours. No incidents. I don't care," the captain said coldly. "Go." Evan stood still for a moment, breathing in slowly, staring at the plane they were supposed to fly together. Then, with quiet composure that surprised even him, he replied, "Sir, the client specifically requested me for this flight." Captain Reeves frowned. "Requested you? Why would a billionaire client name a random co-pilot?" Evan only offered a small, secretive smile and stepped aside. "You'll find out soon." The captain scoffed and headed inside the jet, annoyed at what he believed was arrogance. But the second he boarded, he noticed something odd. Every surface gleamed. The leather seats looked brand new. The control panel had been upgraded with the latest avionics. The logo engraved on the cabin wall, Cole Airfleet Holdings, made his brow twitch. "Cole," he muttered. He turned slowly toward Evan, who was now loading his bag into the cockpit. "Is that your family's company?" Captain Reeves asked, trying to hide irritation. "Not exactly," Evan replied. "I'll explain later." The captain was annoyed but forced to proceed with the flight. The passengers had already arrived, and the lead charter coordinator insisted there was no time for pilot replacements. So Captain Reeves took the left seat, shoulders stiff, while Evan settled into the right like he'd done it 1,000 times. And once they took off, something unexpected happened. Evan was good. Very good. Smooth on the controls, precise on the radio, calm under pressure. He anticipated instructions before the captain even issued them. Captain Reeves found himself grudgingly impressed, though he'd never admit it. Still, the pink backpack kept flashing in his mind like an alarm. "Where's the child's mother?" the captain finally muttered, unable to resist. "She passed away 3 years ago," Evan replied softly, staring at the sky ahead. "Car accident. I was supposed to pick her up that day. I got held up at the airport for an emergency flight and I never got to say goodbye." The cockpit fell silent. Even the engine seemed quieter. Evan's voice didn't crack, but the sadness in it was unmistakable. "Since then, it's just been me and Lily," he continued. "I take the jobs I can, the shifts I'm offered. Some days I get judged for that. Today was one of those days." Captain Reeves swallowed hard. He'd spent years thinking he was the only one who carried burdens. His wife had divorced him 10 years ago, calling him married to the sky. He'd grown cold, distant, believing family attachments only hurt careers. But listening to Evan, Something uncomfortable stirred in him, regret, maybe even shame. As they approached cruising altitude, the cabin door swung open and the lead client stepped inside. A tall man in a suit with silver-rimmed glasses, a billionaire investor named Thomas Hargrove. "I don't mean to interrupt," he said, smiling warmly, "but I wanted to greet the pilots." Captain Reeves straightened. "Welcome aboard, sir. We'll have a smooth flight." Hargrove chuckled. "I already know that. I've flown with Evan before." The captain's eyes twitched. "With Evan? Oh yes," Hargrove said. "In fact, he's the only reason I booked with this company again. Professional, humble, brilliant under pressure. Reminds me of his father." "His father?" Captain Reeves echoed slowly. Hargrove looked at Evan with unmistakable affection. "Your father would be proud, son." Evan nodded gratefully. The captain's heart thudded. "What am I missing?" he asked. And then Hargrove smiled, the kind of smile people wear when they reveal a secret that changes everything. "Captain Reeves," he said gently, "Evan isn't just your assigned co-pilot. He's the new owner of this aircraft." Captain Reeves went pale, actually pale. His throat tightened as he stared at Evan, who looked both embarrassed and resigned. "My father left me his aviation assets," Evan explained softly. "I don't use the privilege unless necessary. I prefer earning my place. So I didn't mention it earlier." Captain Reeves felt humiliation wash over him like a cold wave. Moments ago he'd dismissed Evan as a liability, someone unfit, someone distracted, someone unworthy. Yet here Evan was, calm, skilled, humble, and the rightful owner of the multi-million-dollar jet they were flying. "Why didn't you tell me?" the captain whispered. "Because I wanted you to see me as a pilot first," Evan said kindly, "not a name, not a title, not a fortune." The captain looked away, ashamed. For the first time in years, he felt the weight of his arrogance. The rest of the flight continued in reflective silence. But as they approached descent, a sudden storm formed ahead, unexpected, violent, and growing fast. The turbulence hit like a fist. The aircraft jolted, warning lights flickered, air pockets slammed the jet. The passengers gasped. Captain Reeves' instincts kicked in, but his hands shook, until Evan placed a steady palm on the controls. "I've got you," Evan said calmly. Working together, they navigated through wind shear, shifting gusts, and thick clouds. Evan's guidance was flawless. His voice never quivered. His decisions were precise. And when they finally broke through the storm and landed safely, applause erupted from the cabin. The captain turned to Evan, breathless and humbled. "You saved us," he murmured. "We did," Evan corrected. "Flying is always a team effort." Captain Reeves exhaled, humbled beyond words. "I was wrong about you," he managed. "And I'm sorry." Evan smiled, the softness in his eyes now shining with sincerity. "Everyone makes mistakes, Captain. What matters is what we learn from them." Later, as they packed up their gear, the little pink backpack slipped from Evan's bag. Captain Reeves picked it up gently, brushing off the fabric. "She must be proud of you," he said quietly. Evan looked down, his voice warm. "I hope she is." The captain extended his hand, not as a superior, not as a critic, but as a man finally owning his flaws. "I'd be honored to fly with you again." Evan shook his hand firmly. "I'd like that." And as the sun set across the runway, casting long golden beams over the aircraft, Captain Reeves realized something profound. Sometimes the people we judge the most are the ones who end up saving us, whether in the sky or in the quiet corners of our own hearts. If this story touched you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Goodness Hub Stories for more powerful stories just like this one.